Lane only, okay, and cars continue to pass in opposite direction. And we marched on Martin Luther King Drive, but it wasn't Martin Luther King at the time.
A street name that Reverend Callis pushed the city to change, and they did. It was 1986 when the city did something else that would change the San Antonio MLK March forever under then-Mayor Henry Cisneros.
He had been to Atlanta for the very first official Martin Luther King celebration. He said he sat there and he thought, I want this for my city.
Mayor Cisneros tapped Aranetta Pierce to chair the city's first ever MLK Commission.
He really understood that I would give it the work. I would do the work.
Live from KSAT 12, the 6 o'clock news starts right now.
Shots fired at a local motel, and when the dust settled, a man has died and 2 San Antonio police officers were wounded. We'll tell you everything we know about this shooting, but first. We begin tonight by taking a live picture of a home on the east side where a suspect was arrested in the murder of Stacy Dramiga. This is on Como Avenue near DeFost Park, where Dramiga's body was found in September of 2024 after she went for a walk along a local trail. Our Zaria Oates joins us live now from the Bexar County Sheriff's Office, where just about 25 minutes ago, we saw the suspect in this case as he was taken to jail. We brought it to you as breaking news at 5 o'clock. Zaria, this case, this crime sparked so much concern. It happened along a popular walking and jogging trail. You tried to talk to that suspect, but he didn't seem to have much to say.
Hey, Myra, yeah, that suspect, 23-year-old Samuel Terron, he didn't have anything to say really other than that he's not going to comment on the situation today. We asked him several questions as deputies walked him in front of our cameras, and he didn't answer any of them. But Sheriff Javier Salazar told us that that was pretty on brand for this suspect. He says that this is the same stoic face, the same lack of response that his deputies received when they arrested him, and then also when investigators were questioning him. They said that this is a person that is being charged in Stacy Dramiga's death. Dramiga went missing just over a year ago on September 22nd, 2024, and her body was found on September 23rd, about 3 miles away from where she initially was walking, and deputies found her near DeFost Park. Now, we do know that he's being charged with capital murder. He is also being charged with tampering with evidence. Sheriff Javier Salazar said that this was a very gruesome thing to see and to talk about with this suspect. He said that the victim, Stacy Dramiga, was also sexually assaulted, hit over the head, and partially burned. Here's what Sheriff Javier Salazar had to say about that suspect when I asked him.
At this point, we do believe that he acted alone. Obviously for us, anything is possible in a situation like this. Definitely a savage crime. One of the more heinous that I've ever been associated with. And, but at this point, anything can happen.
Sheriff Javier Salazar said that the way that they were able to catch the suspect is through DNA testing. They said that when a person is booked into the Bexar County Adult Detention Center through a new law, they're now able to swab them and get a sample of their DNA. That DNA then matched DNA found on Stacy Dramiga's body back in 2024 and a rock that they believe is associated with her death. They then also made an attempt to get a DNA sample from that suspect recently as well, and they were able to match that DNA suspect, and they obtained, the suspect from his home that we showed you earlier. Now, if there are more charges, we'll have to wait and see. I did ask Sheriff Javier Salazar if they were looking for any other suspects or any further charges, and of course he said anything can happen, so we'll continue to stay on top of this and follow any additional details that we get. Live at the Bexar County Sheriff's Office, I'm Zaria Oates.
All of this unfolding in the last 30 minutes or so. Of course, you can keep up to date at KSAT.com as well. Zaria, thank you.
Heavy machinery is already in position along Ingram Lake. That crane you see back there will be on a barge and in the water in the coming days, and these large metal rods or suds will be used to keep that barge in place. Meanwhile, they'll also have a crane shoreside. All of this the next attempt in search and recovery after the July 4th floods. A lot more equipment and assembly is required, but they hope to be on the water this coming Monday.
We're certain that they're going to find something, and we sure hope they find Seal and Jeff.
There's a lot of debris down there, and we need to be safe again.
Wait and hope. That's been the life for the Hill Country since the July 4th floods. More than 3 months since, loved ones still haven't been found. Now there's a new search attempt getting ready to take place at Ingram Lake.
They're not dredging the lake. They've got specific areas of interest, and that's where they're going to go.
Ingram Code Enforcement Officer Stuart Gross explains Kerr County officials have relayed to him 2 barges will be in the water soon. One with a crane to dig into the bottom of the lake, the other to carry anything that is found.
We just need to drain the lake.
Ingram residents we spoke to are glad the recovery efforts are being continued. However, they're also still worried about water contamination.
What happens with water contamination? Is that still a concern?
I spoke with a young lady from UGRA, and she said the water test's good. I'm not going to get in it for a while because the people that live here, we still consider that river a graveyard till they find those 2 people.
According to officials, you could get in the lake right now without concern.
Well, they're saying the water quality is fine.
Gross referred to the Upper Guadalupe River Authority stating the water was okay, adding at this time draining the lake isn't in the plans, but admitted there is still plenty of debris in the water.
They're going to stir up whatever's there. And I'm not going to put my feet in the water until I don't know if I will ever put my feet in the water anymore.
As for the upcoming search efforts in the lake, Gross believes that'll kick off at the start of the week.
Any idea on how many hot spots or spots of interest that they're going to be dredging?
No.
Any idea once that process actually starts, how long it takes?
I've heard 2 weeks to a month.
John Paul Barajas, KSAT 12 News.
We are learning more about the man at the center of a gun battle with San Antonio police this morning. This is 36-year-old Odon Bustos. Records show that he has been in trouble with the law before. This is his most recent mugshot taken at the Bexar County Jail last year. Records we've compiled from multiple agencies show that Bustos had a criminal history in Bexar County dating back to 2009. Now we flash forward to this morning, about 8:30 this morning, in the parking lot of a motel near Highway 90 and Military Drive. SAPD Chief William McManus told news crews the officer first noticed Bustos when he began taunting them in that parking lot. Chief McManus says that Bustos then told them he did not want to go back to prison and started running away. The chief says at some point that man then pulled a gun from his waistband and started shooting. 3 officers also fired. The 2 wounded officers were taken to a hospital, but the chief says that they should be okay.
We were very, very lucky. As this officer was, as the suspect was pulling out that gun shooting, one of the officers jumped on.
Police say around the same time all of this was going on, they had received a 911 hang-up call from the woman at that same location, that motel. They believe it is somehow tied to this shooting. More questions to answer in this case. We have also learned that Bustos was a parolee, meaning he spent time in the state prison system. At the time of his death this morning, he was wanted on a warrant issued by Texas parole officials. He'd been arrested at least 12 times here in Bexar County and in other parts of the state as well. You can read more about Bustos' history, criminal history, right now on KSAT.com. Our Patty Santos was at that scene shortly after the call came out this morning. She got there quick enough to still talk to witnesses who heard what happened.
This happened around 8:20 in the morning, a time when there's a lot of traffic, a lot of people just trying to get to work, to school, and a lot of those witnesses that were here at that time, they just left the scene. But all morning long, San Antonio police officers were talking to the people that are staying at the hotel. There's a lot of potential witnesses that they needed to get in contact with. When we first got to the scene, we know that they were going door to door, checking on clients to make sure that everyone was okay inside these hotel rooms. The witnesses I talked to, some of them didn't want to share their names or their faces, but they told me they heard the shots from about a block away.
That's when I heard multiple shots, and I didn't really hear any shouting or any commotion, nothing like get on the ground or anything like that. Just one shot, and then I heard multiple shots after that, And then that's when I went outside.
We saw people looking around, like everybody was looking around, but like, of course we didn't know where it was coming from.
And they told me they wanted to get away from the area as quickly as possible. Reporting, Patty Santos, KSAT 12 News.
The head of the San Antonio Police Officers Association is sounding off about this shooting. Erica Hernandez spoke with President Danny Diaz. And Erica, joining us now here in the studio, he was clear about his reaction to the shooting of these two officers today.
Yeah, that's correct, Myra. Danny Diaz, the president of SAPOA, is frustrated, saying that there has been 20 officers shot in the past 3 years.
It's very frustrating and disheartening. I'm tired of going to hospitals. I'm tired of seeing officers that are out there doing their job to help the community. Morale's at an all-time low. Frustration throughout the justice system. It's tough.
Now, Diaz also visited with the injured officers today at the hospital and says one was shot in the elbow and backside and the other was shot in the leg.
They're in good spirits, which was good to see because I've known one of them since he was a kid. He played baseball with my son. So it was good to see that you know, they're here with us. They're going through some pain and they're going to have to deal with some issues.
Now, Diaz says that both officers are expected to pull through, but overall, he says something needs to change to stop this trend of officer shootings. Myra?
Erica, thank you. We want to take a look at traffic right now. Let's go to this TransGuide camera 410 at West Military Drive. Traffic really in both directions seems to be moving along just fine. No major issues out there on the roads right now. Early voting starts in just 5 days, but a new poll out today suggests a proposal to help fund a new Spurs arena could be in trouble. Garrett Berger looks into what pollsters found about which way voters are leaning.
If the Spurs want Bexar County dollars for a new downtown arena, they need a majority of voters to dunk some ballots in their favor. But a new poll of likely voters from the start of the month shows that could be a challenge. Every Bexar County voter will be asked whether to put a venue tax on hotel stays and car rentals toward helping fund a new arena at Hemisphere. That tax is a key portion of the current plan to build the $1.3 billion arena, which also includes money from the city and the Spurs. But the UTSA Center for Public Opinion Research found more voters would vote against approving the tax than vote for it. The center's director says it's fair to say the effort to get county funding faces an uphill battle. But neither side had a majority in the poll, which also found about 14% of likely voters hadn't made up their minds.
The difference between supporting and not supporting Prop B, that's not significant either, right? So these are very close proportions.
When it comes to getting voters to sign off on public funding for sports arenas, a sports economics expert tells KSAT it's a coin toss.
And so since 1980, there have been over 80 referenda on pro sports, giving money to pro sports for projects, and the passage rate is 50.1%.
But the arena is not the only use of the tax, which also includes a hike on the hotel portion that voters will be asked about. Prop A would put money toward improving or expanding facilities on the Freeman Coliseum grounds to pave way for more year-round rodeo-style activity. That had slightly more support, 44% in favor of that one. But the only percentages that matter are what's counted on November 4th. Garrett Berger, KSAT 12 News.
In just days, hundreds of people will no longer be receiving a meal from Meals on Wheels. We'll tell you why right after the break. A lawsuit that began in Castle Hills and reached the U.S. Supreme Court is finally over. The city of Castle Hills settled that suit and now owes Sylvia Gonzalez $500,000. Gonzalez was arrested in 2019 and charged with tampering with government records after grabbing a citizen's petition signed by neighbors who wanted the city manager removed. The charges were dropped about a month later, but Gonzalez sued the city of Castle Hills, saying her First Amendment rights were violated. Last year, the Supreme Court ruled in her favor. As part of the settlement, Castle Hills will work with the Texas Municipal League to create a training program about First Amendment rights. It will be mandatory for all Castle Hills city staff. Come November 3rd, nearly 400 people in Bexar County will no longer receive a meal from Meals on Wheels. The nonprofit says it's because of a decrease in funding. Their CEO tells Bashada Pope the agency is now working to connect affected clients with resources to keep them fed.
Right now, Meals on Wheels provides service to some 3,600 clients in Bexar, Frio, and Atascosa counties. But next month, that number will drop.
350 individuals are going to have their meals suspended the first week of November.
All of the impacted clients are in Bexar County and have already been notified by the nonprofit. Meals on Wheels San Antonio CEO Vincent Ferris says while working on the budget, he and his team recognized they would have to immediately move forward without some of its federal dollars.
We were beginning this October, we would see a significant decrease in our monies coming in, and it could be anywhere from $70,000 to $100,000 a month. So that's why the decision was made to pull back on services at this time. But we've never ever had to suspend services that people were already receiving meals. But this is a very serious time, and one that has a lot of uncertainties with it.
And part of the uncertainty of funding is a residual effect of the government shutdown.
The government shutdown is impacting this because the federal budget has not been passed. Congress has not passed any of the 12 funding bills yet to fund the federal government for this coming year. So everything could change. Congress could do the right thing. Congress could fund Meals on Wheels organizations across the country at a level that would be greatly beneficial.
Ferris says to reinstate the affected clients for a year, the agency would need to be guaranteed $400,000 to $500,000. Until then, these clients have been given a list of community resources that may be able to step in. And Ferris is holding onto hope.
So we hope to have them back on service just as soon as we possibly can.
Bashada Pope, KSAT 12 News.
All right, we continue that wait for fall temperatures. In the meantime, Adam, we're just hanging out in the 90s.
Yeah, we sure are, right? And you know, in the summertime, how we often, do our 100-degree day counter, right? Yeah. And that's legit. But when it comes to just October, let's talk about 90-degree days. We've had several. We'll get to it in a moment. But the average is 6 90-degree days in October. The maximum we've ever had is 19 90-degree days in October. That was back in 1947. So far this year, we are at 13. Today makes 13, so we are on track to really challenge the record amount of 90-degree days in October. I mean, you look at our trend going forward, near 90 tomorrow, probably 89, 90-ish on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, even Monday, low 90s. Thinking upper 80s Tuesday, Wednesday of next week, and then near 90, give or take, thereafter. The thing is, next Tuesday, Wednesday, there is the potential, a little bit of hope, a sliver of hope for maybe dropping those numbers a little bit with a cool front. But you look at the long-range prediction from the Climate Prediction Center, and this is all the way out 14 days. This is October 21st to 25th. And you see Texas likely above average in that time frame. Now, could there be a little drop next Tuesday, Wednesday? Yeah, a little drop, but right now I don't have a lot of confidence in an actual cold front moving in. That could change a little bit between now and then, but as of now, not a lot of confidence. All right, take a look at the weather patterns. We're still looking for rain. Good, potent upper-level swirl, upper-level disturbance near Salt Lake City. We need that to move in, but unfortunately, upper-level high blocks it. We're so used to that. Upper-level high, dry high, it's in charge, and that's deflecting that disturbance up and around us. Now, our upper high breaks down. We just don't have any good disturbances to bring us the kind of rainfall and potential that we need. The system's passing to the north. Now you see this little trough that's going to move in Tuesday, Wednesday into the northern U.S. That's the one that could bring a cool front through next Tuesday time frame. So we'll keep you updated. But right now, not a lot of confidence in that being strong or very noticeable. But you look at the rainfall potential generally across Texas, and it's pretty bleak, and we could use it. I mean, we keep getting drier and drier. The drought, unfortunately, gets worse and worse with every passing week with the lack of rain. Just over a quarter of the state considered in drought. Around here, we still have the exceptional drought and the extreme drought. I mean, Lytle down toward Divine, Natalia, it's just unfortunate where we really have missed out. Even on the heavy rainfall we had in July, that area missed out. 91, our high temperature today, the average down to 83. Wouldn't that be nice, right? But as I showed you before, we won't be anywhere near that. The record high 95 set back in 1931. Dew points, though, not bad. This is a nice thing here. Dew points down in the 50s, low to mid 50s. So we don't have the mugginess in place, and that makes for beautiful evenings. We're getting to the best time of day, about 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Great with these conditions. Still near 90, 89 in town right now, 90 Pleasanton, 87 Kerrville, Cotulla at 91. 84 though by 8 o'clock, and 10 o'clock we're at 79, midnight we're at 75. We start the day tomorrow, some upper 50s in the hill country. Most of us though, low to mid 60s and about mid 60s, about 66 within 410 and 1604 tomorrow. Then near 80 at noon, 90 the high, or near 90, I should say, technically speaking, about a degree shy. But of course, we'll continue to tally them up and keep you updated on that, on tracking the potential record-breaking number of 90-degree days. A few coastal showers on Friday, Sunday, maybe a stray shower here or there, 10% chance.
All right, Adam, thank you. Larry, I feel like we just started talking about the Spurs preseason, and now it's almost over.
It is almost over. Friday, they close it out at home against the Indiana Pacers. Now, we already know that guard De'Aaron Fox will not play in the preseason finale, and he's not expected to play in the regular season opener. Today, we talked to Coach Johnson, and he gave us a Fox update. And local high school basketball star Bella Flemings is headed to Duke. We're going to hear from her brother coming up.
Just keep, continue to build some continuity, some chemistry. I think we were doing a pretty good job with that, as is, but just continuing on that trend and focusing on some defense.
Julian says those are the things the Spurs will focus on Friday night in big board sports. Devin Vassell and Keldon Johnson were having some fun at practice today by play boxing as the preseason winds down. Both guys have been counted on big time this season as the Spurs look to end their 6-year playoff drought, and they will need that fighting spirit. Guard De'Aaron Fox is another guy the Spurs will hope take them to the next level. He's currently out while coming back from a hamstring injury that he suffered during the summer. Today, head coach Mitch Johnson was asked how Fox is doing.
He's starting to progress on the court. Obviously, with the amount of time since his last game, we're going to be conservative, as we've said, numerous times. But he's progressing and gets excited sometimes when you see someone like that, of that level of player, get back on the court and start doing some things with the basketball.
Is he back to 5-on-5 yet, or is that still a ways away?
He's getting close, yeah.
Now, there's a lot of hype surrounding this year's squad, from Wemby to Fox, the addition of draft picks Dylan Harper and Carter Bryant. Many feel this is the season the Spurs will get back in playoff contention.
We want to win as a team. I think that's what we care about the most. Obviously, we love the fans, and we want to give the fans the best show ever. But for us, we're more focused on what we have going on in-house. And amongst the group, we want to win. So I think that's what's most important to us. All the anticipation, all the the hype around it is great. We love that, but at the end of the day, it's not going to matter if we don't figure it out in between these lines.
The Spurs will play again on Friday when they'll close out the preseason at home with the Pacers. Brennan star guard Bella Flemons is going to Duke. The senior made her announcement on Monday. She selected the Blue Devils over Baylor, TCU, Miami, and Tennessee. Bella will join former Clark star Ariana Robertson, who will be a redshirt freshman this season. Bella is a 5-star recruit and is number 16 in ESPN's national recruiting rankings for the class of 2026. Her brother Kingston is a freshman at the University of Houston, and he had this to say about his sis going to Duke.
Proud of her for sure. I mean, that's a great program, Carl Lawson. So I think she's loved her for a while now. She's loved her. So I think, she made the right decision, the decision that she wanted. I think she's going to go there. It's a good school. Ariana Robertson from San Antonio went there too. So, she's in good hands. I'm just proud of her going through the journey and working to get to this. I mean, everyone dreams of getting to this point, committing to a college. So I think I'm just proud of her for getting there.
All right, let's check out a play from Natalia's win Friday night versus Nixon Smiley. Last play of the game, 6 seconds remaining. Quarterback Mason Guieta throws up a Hail Mary, and Juan Gonzalez comes down with the ball to seal the win, 18-15. How awesome is that? Let's look again. So Mason gets flushed out of the pocket and just chucks it to the end zone, where JG comes down with it for the score. Thank you to Coach Velasquez for sending us that video. And coming up tonight at 7 on KSAT Sports Now, we'll have more with Kingston Flemings, plus a lot of college football. I'm talking about Texas A&M, Texas Tech, UTSA, and UIW.
What a catch at Natalia.
Wasn't that awesome?
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, Larry. We'll be right back. Students at New Braunfels ISD don't have access to check out books from their libraries right now. That's because the district is reviewing all of its library materials to make sure that they line up with the standards of a new Texas law. It's Senate Bill 13. The district says the law requires school library materials to be free of anything that is considered harmful, indecent, or profane content. Those exact definitions are explained in the law, and KSAT's Madeline Lambert is breaking that down for us here tonight. She also sat down with a parent who says that she is frustrated with the decision from the district.
How can you shut down a library in a middle school during the school year?
That's what students at New Braunfels ISD are experiencing right now. The Board of Trustees voted on Monday to suspend student access to the libraries for secondary schools.
The district says it's going to review their current books and resources to make sure they are compliant with Senate Bill 13.
They are looking to make sure their library materials are free of any content that may be indecent, harmful, or profane. In short, the law defines those terms as material that's sexually inappropriate for minors or patently offensive.
Amy Payne is a New Braunfels ISD parent who is worried about how the new law is censoring books students should have a choice to read.
If a child goes into a library, they have the option to look at books, hold books, open them up, look at them, and choose, do they want that book or do they not? That's part of learning critical thinking.
The district currently has more than 195,000 books and resources, and they're going to close their libraries to review all of them. They didn't say how long that may take.
Senator Angela Paxton, who wrote SB 13, has repeatedly said this bill is to protect students from sexually explicit material.
No child should pick up a book in their school library of all places and see sexually explicit, harmful material within its pages. Their young brains cannot unsee what they have seen.
Clay Robson with the Texas State Teacher Association believes the suspension of libraries at New Braunfels ISD is unnecessary.
But to shut down student access to library books where they can review every book that's on the shelves is an overreach and a disruption, an unnecessary disruption of the educational process.
New Braunfels ISD stated that the district does not intend to permanently close its libraries, but students will not have access to them during the review.
We also try to sit down with New Braunfels ISD superintendent to learn more about this process, but she was unavailable by the time this aired. Madeline Lambert, KSAT 12 News.
Fall means inflatables. For Halloween and the holidays, they are cute and they are festive, but they are not cheap. Still ahead on the news at 6, we'll show you how to keep your inflatables in your yard and out of the hands of thieves. A family in San Antonio has been stolen from yet again. Yesterday, we told you about a family storage unit that was broken into over the weekend. That included family photos and decades worth of military records and honors that were taken from them. They believe the crooks got into the storage facility through a broken door and then climbed over a wall into their unit. That facility is near Old Corpus Christi Road and Southeast Military. Take a look at this. Today, the Flores family shared this picture with us here at KSAT. You can see a ladder here, which they believe the burglars left behind after targeting their storage unit yet again. Well, if they're not in your yard, you've probably seen them in your neighbors. Inflatable decorations are blowing up all across the city. Some of them can be pretty expensive, and they're sought after. Patty Santos shows us how to keep your inflatables from being stolen.
Decorating your yard for the holidays can be pretty, but it can also be pricey. $300. This one over here, $450. That's for this big guy, 12-foot man right there. So it's probably a good idea to take a few steps to protect that investment. Here's some basics. Every night before you go to bed, make sure that you deflate them, turn them off. Maybe set up a timer for them. If you can, set them up on top of the roof or really close to the house, away from the road. Consider buying longer stakes than the ones these inflatables come with. This we got at Home Depot. It's a little exaggerated, but come on, it's a big investment. For extra protection, consider using a cable bike lock to secure the inflatable to the stake. There are different prices online for motion sensor alarms and pull string alarms. Do your homework. See what fits your budget. A pack of air tags can be bought online for less than $100. Get some, put them on your inflatables, and if they ever get stolen, you can tell police where to find them. So look, doing all these things won't guarantee that thieves and vandals won't try to mess with your inflatables, but it will make it harder for them.
Patty Santos at perhaps one of the most festive yards in San Antonio. Did you see all that stuff they had?
You know what? I always see those big decorations at the home goods stores. And
yeah, you go to Home
stores.
Depot or Lowe's or something.
Yeah, and they keep getting bigger and bigger, which look, I am all in favor of, okay? You know me, it's go big. But the price tag on those?
Right? And my question is, like the 25-foot skeleton, where is it the rest of the year?
Well, it does break down nicely. I know this. I've dealt with a few of them. Not at my house, but friends and for parties. I always get tapped to help out with the decor, and they break down pretty nicely, and you can kind of pack them up all right.
But I get it.
Yeah.
You made a balloon arch at my house. You're the decor guy.
A rowdy one.
It was pretty rowdy.
You can see it on our Instagram. It's on there. Little known fact about me, I'm really good at balloon. Well,
You're very good.
Pretty good. I have the help of kids.
You know what? You're at the right price too.
Cha-ching. We do have weather to talk about. We'll get to it in just a few minutes.
This Saturday, you have a chance to help out the Texas Hill Country. The Hope for Hunt benefit concert is happening. It's at Pure Country Barbecue and Grill in Bernie from 3 to 10 p.m. Tickets are $80, but kids 12 and under get in free. Headliners include Thompson Square, the J.R. Herrera Band, and more. For more information and a link to tickets, head to KSAT.com and search Hope for Hunt.
Oh, Myra, just got a text message.
Uh-oh, what's that?
Well, you know, I said I have kids to help, like Josie helped me with the balloon arch at your house.
Yes, she did.
Oh boy, my buddy Cody just texted. I'm a kid. Thanks for the balloon arch shout out, which is true. We've done a lot of them together. So
I'm telling you, I was impressed.
Yeah.
I did not know you had this skill.
I know, it's just one of those hidden talents. They're not that complicated. And definitely have a compressor on hand. Just don't push harder. You're going to blow right through those balloons. Got the touchdown, at least with my equipment. Anyway, let's talk about the first cool morning. You know, when it's below 60 degrees and we dip down into the 50s. On average, that comes September 26th. The latest we've dipped below 60 degrees is October 22nd. That was in 1929. So far, the coolest we've been this fall is 63 degrees. So we have yet to get that sub 60 morning temperature. You know, when it's in the 50s and it's crisp outside and it feels and smells like fall. We're still waiting on it, and I think we'll have to wait a while longer. In the 60s to at times even near 70 degrees all the way through next Tuesday. Now notice October 22nd, next Wednesday, which is the latest sub 60 degree morning on record. I've got us at 63. There is a little bit of hope that we could actually dip down into the upper 50s. A little bit. I don't have much confidence in it, but I'd give it about a 10% chance at this point. Today, midsection of the country, way above average. I mean, look at Omaha, 16 degrees above average. Denver, 13 degrees above average. But the western U.S. and the West Coast, again, below average because of the big upper level low that has dropped into the western U.S. I mean, Vegas right now at 66. Come on. Phoenix at 79. And we're sitting here at 88. And actually, our high temperature was 91 today. So there is some cooler air out there. It's just not here. And you know, this time of year, I love to go all the way up into Canada to take a look at the temperatures, the source region for a lot of our cold air. And it's not all that cool. It was actually cooler earlier this week. Got to check in with my friends in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan at 50. And of course, Attawapiskat at 41. Pickle Lake, 52. You know, I search for the most unique names on the map when I put those temperatures on there. I love the names of those cities in Canada. Anyway, here's a look at the trend. Some cooler air dipping south into the lower 48 by this weekend. And we'll get clipped by that front. It's just not going to make a change or a difference in our conditions around here. The core of the cold air is going to be up in the Great Lakes and parts of the Midwest. And another batch of cool air dropping in by the middle of next week. As of now, not really expecting it to make it here. There is the off chance that it could. A lot can change between now and then, but currently I really don't have confidence in that. Upper level swirl over the western U.S. That's what pulled that cooler air southward that I showed you on the big map and causing areas of rain and some higher elevation snow. That's what gave a lot of snow to parts of the Sierra Nevadas off to the west. Anyway, taking a look at our overall trend, some disturbances out there, just not ones that will give us any rain. The rainfall potential is generally up and around Texas, though by Friday we could have a few coastal showers pop up closer to the Gulf and along the coastal plain. On track for the driest October. We don't even have a trace of rain in the bucket so far this October. 1952, the driest October on record. There was at least a trace. And last year, we had 1/100th of an inch, which was the second driest on record. So far, we don't even have a trace. Sometimes that trace can come from a really heavy dew or even a really thick fog that can then just, you know, look like a little bit of precipitation, or even just a passing drizzle could cause it. 89 right now, dew point of 52. That's the key. Dew points are low, feels good outside in terms of humidity. Of course, it's hot with the direct sunlight, but that's why this time of day is great. Temperature's starting to drop, 89 at the airport. By 8 o'clock, we're 84. 10 o'clock, 79. At midnight, 75. Tomorrow, it's going to be very similar to today. Mid-60s in the morning locally. Some lower 60s outlying areas, then right near 90 in the afternoon. And we'll just have to put this on rinse and repeat, basically, Myra.
All right, Adam, thank you. We'll be right back. All right, so you've heard of Jalapeno, the mascot for the San Antonio Missions baseball team, but have you met Mama Peno? She is the mascot for the Flying Chanclas de San Antonio. RJ Marquez got to hang out with the one and only Mama Peno, and yes, he dodged a chancla or two. Take a look.
Skill, grace, wisdom, knowledge, an egg, and a chancla. This is Mama Peno, the Flying Chanclas mascot. I wanted to know more about what Mama Peno represents for the Missions and San Antonio.
Quickly became a fan favorite as any of our other mascots and took over, and it's just been amazing.
Mama Peno flew onto the scene in 2018 through a minor league baseball program that connects local cultures through unique team identities.
What do you think Mama Peno kind of represents for Hispanic culture?
That is the matriarch of the Hispanic family. Everybody's like, we've got to have an abuelita to be able to throw the chancla because that's who can hit anybody wherever they're at.
How are some ways that Mama Peno has evolved?
Got some fashion in her. She's done really well with that. She's added the chancla that she's always got with us, and then she always has an egg that she'll bring out and want to rub on people. And
how do you think that Mama Peno sort of connects with a lot of these younger fans?
With our, big boiling pot of people, it helps us bring this culture to that and bring these kids, these younger kids, into seeing their culture as part of the game.
What kind of distance does Mama Peno have with that chancla?
It kind of slings it from the side, and she can hit you from about 20 feet, 30 feet.
What I wanted to do was get a quick tutorial to see exactly what is sort of the best sort of flying chancla throw. All right, Mama Peno,
Let me have it. I am your target. Oh, okay. That wasn't bad. On the ricochet, it got me. All right, I'm gonna try and fling it. All right. Oh. Clearly, I don't have the full technique yet, but we have the egg too.
But at least I got my spiritual cleansing and got to know more about Mama Peño.
And Mama Peño just helps us bring us even closer to the community, and we love every bit of it.
Reporting from Wolf Stadium on the west side, RJ Marquez, KSAT 12 News.
RJ went with the sidearm technique there for the chocolate throw. All right, let's go into the newsroom right now because KSAT Sports Now is coming up. We got Bala Peño, Mama Peño, and Larry. Hey, Larry.
Larry Peño?
Larry Peño, what's ahead tonight?
Why not? And RJ really does need to work on that form, that's for sure. All right, yes, KSAT Sports Now is coming up at 7 o'clock, and it just so happens that all these topics here, it's what I have on my notepad. So I'm going to look down at my notepad. It's a little bit easier. We have a lot of college football to talk about, including Texas A&M. They are down their leading running back right now who's going to miss a good chunk of games due to an ankle injury, so it is next man up. We're also talking Texas Tech. They're in the top 10 in the AP poll as they get ready for their next contest. And, of course, we're going to hear from the local programs here in San Antonio, UTSA and UIW. Kingston and Bella Flemings, two of the best basketball products to come out of San Antonio. Kingston is already at the University of Houston. Bella just made her pick where she's going to go, and we caught up with her brother to get his thoughts on her choice of the school that she decided to go to, and it is one of the best programs in the country. And we're also going to hear from our brand new Scholar Athlete of the Week. KSAT Sports Now starts at 7 o'clock on KSAT Plus. We'll be right back after the break.
That's all our time here on the News at 6. Remember, you can stay up to date on all the big stories we have covered here on KSAT.com. We'll see you back here for the Night Beat.